All right, my friends, so if you are looking directly into the sunlight and you're seeing swirls and scratches, you may be washing your car wrong. In this episode, I'm going to show you how to wash your car the correct way. So in essence, probably the most dangerous part of the maintenance wash is of course the contact wash, because you are theoretically taking a wash pad or wash mitt and you are rubbing whatever is left on the paint after the pre-wash. Now, even if you bleach wash your car, nothing in this world is ever contactless. So you've got your wash pad, obviously wash, and a kind of a surface, whether it be paint, glass, anything like that, and you're in essence moving it about. So in this episode, we're going to be talking about why we have made wash the way it is in terms of lubricity, slickness, foam levels, dilution ratios, and a whole host more on this episode. Let's go. All right, so as you can see, the vehicle has had a pre-wash by the clear ring of foam on the outside of the car. So now usually you are ready for a contact wash. Now, first of all, as always, you've got two buckets. You've got the rinse bucket here. I've got it filled pretty much 85–90% full of water. And I've got the wash bucket, which is about 3/4, so it's here, if you can see. And it's both currently have got clean, in this case warm water, because it's like 1 degree outside right now. But the reason this is 3/4, again with the wash, what I like to do, I'm going to put the wash in last. That's how you're supposed to froth your bucket up properly. And then we're going to agitate it with the pressure washer, because if it was as full as this, you'd literally have very little kind of mixing headroom left. So, wash. Always shake every single product that you have. Chemicals, products, everything. Eventually, once they start to sit, obviously certain things are lighter than others and they'll start to kind of rise to the top or fall to the bottom. So give it a good shake. As I said, this is empty. So what I like to do, personally, 1, 2. You're talking about 50, maybe even 75 mil. Now, first things first, dilution ratios. You see so many companies, like with anything, it's a race to the bottom, okay? Now, whether that be price or in this case, the dilution, I mean, you see 5 mil to every 20 to 25 liters of water. Now, again, when you chemically look at a formula sheet and you actually see exactly what raw materials are where and in what obviously concentration, at 5 mil, I ask people to just use the common sense, right? And 5, 10, 15, whatever it may be. For a shampoo to be that strong at that sort of dilution ratio, you will be talking for a 500 ml bottle, 50, 60, 100 pound a bottle, right? It's going to be extremely expensive. Now, second of all, even at that rate of cost, the raw materials, right, within this bucket, I'd say 5–10 mil, okay, they are going to be so diluted that you're pretty much washing your car with very light, I'm trying to use the best word, the very lightly bubbled water, okay? Now, this can also be seen via a lot of the YouTube content that you see out there when, you know, certain people say X, Y, and Z dilution. You put it onto the panel and just look at what the wash pad is doing is all I will say. Now, the reason I put 50, sometimes even 100 mil, it depends obviously on the state of the car. Like I said to you, I can't tell you straight away, that car over there needs 100 mil, that car there needs 50 mil. It all depends on the car. Now, this car has done, we're just coming off the back of Christmas, so it's 750, maybe 1,000 miles. We went up and down London a few times. Dry December, now January salt. So this car was dirty. So at around 50 to 75 mil, it is perfect. Now, you're going to see the level of slickness, foam, and lubricity that's going to be on the panel. Now, wash, the most important thing, like I said, this is the most dangerous step of the car washing process. We're going to be now moving whatever is left after citrus and foam, okay? Like I've already said previously, nothing is ever contactless free. So the one thing that shampoo needs to have is not necessarily the highest cleaning power, because ultimately the best cleaning power, it comes from your manual, say, agitation, all right? So all it needs is just, you know, enough bite, but the most important thing is slickness. You want that wash bite to be gliding. It needs to be falling off that bonnet when you put it on and you almost have to catch it all the time. That is the goal of a car shampoo. This has got no gloss enhancers. It's got no stripping agents in there. It can be used on matte, satin, and normal paintwork, glass, carbon ceramics, normal brakes, everything, plastics, porous plastics, hard texture plastics. I can do another 53 different lists of what it can go on. It's beautiful. Now, the reason I've done this, and this is the reason why we will never, ever have a ceramic shampoo or a gloss enhancing shampoo or any of this malarkey, right, is because I want to give you the full spectrum of after a maintenance wash. If you rinse it and you want to put a drying aid on, great. If you want to put a Foam Plus on, if you want to strip it, if you want to do X, Y, and Z, right? If you put a gloss enhancing shampoo or a, say like a ceramic based shampoo, and then you then go, let's say, with our detail spreads and drying aid, you are loading the panels with so much junk in between the actual good stuff. So your paint's protected with, let's say, a wax. Then you're going to put a nondescript gloss enhancer in there, which then makes that surface not waxy anymore. It makes it gloss enhancing, let's say, with the film. I'm talking about the actual final step film. Then you're going to put something else on there. You're loading the panels, you're going to get streaks, you're going to get hazing. Eventually you'll see like the white kind of clumps on the paint, and you can just tell the clear coat is overloaded, which is not what you want it to do. With this, you wash it, it's free rinsing, it's non-activating. Now, I forgot to mention that. The non-activating part is, so you know, especially in the door jambs or any kind of panel gaps, when you hit it with your pressure washer, so our pressure washer, you've got Ustertal over 10 litres a minute, quite low PSI, so obviously that just generates the perfect conditions for just frothing product up. Now, non-reactivating shampoo in this case is where when you do rinse, say, the panel gaps, it won't keep agitating over and over again. And the most important thing, this is not a problem right now, but in the summer days, we have rated this from the very start in 2018 to be safe and effective to be used in direct sunlight. Now, I'm not telling you to go on purpose and hammer down, you know, in 33 degrees Celsius, 80, 90 degree kind of panel temperatures to go and put shampoo on and see what happens. Of course, you're going to run into problems, but you've got enough inbuilt factors to where if you do, let's say the sun peaks out now and it's 27 degrees, you are going to be totally safe, okay? So I'm going to show you exactly how I wash the car. And now obviously to agitate the bucket, as I said, the washer's already in there. You put it in, give it a quick mix. As you can see, I've got the time now to really froth it up. And that, my friends, is now perfectly mixed. It's redistributed within the entire 6-gallon bucket, and we're good to go. Now, this is not a how to wash video, so I'm going to skip the pleasantries. I'm just going to talk specifically about the shampoo. Now, again, yes, you start from top to bottom, dunk it in, and we're good to go. So that is how to wash a car. If you've watched me long enough, you'll see washing chats on how to do this and how to do that. So again, we're starting at the top. Look, it's a one-finger job. It just glides. Now, of course, it helps if your car is protected, like this car is. But still, even on an unprotected car, look, one job. Or one-finger job, more than likely. So again, see, I would have picked up whatever's left on the car and I'm putting it back into the rinse bucket, wringing it out. At the end of the day, nothing's ever foolproof, but you want to give yourself and the paint a fighting chance for as much as you can. So like I said, again, I didn't want to be talking for too long, but in terms of the contact shampoo, you know, I'm quite a big advocate of all the things that I've already told you. regards, you know, no additives at all, how it can be used in direct sunlight. There's an inbuilt factor of protection there. Now again, like I keep saying, I'm being completely upfront, there's nothing ever foolproof in this world. But through all of our testing, I mean, this shampoo now has been out for 5.5 years, and we're continuously testing, we're continuously obviously pulling it off the shelf theoretically, and kind of looking at version 2s and all that type of stuff. But still, over 5 years now in real world, worldwide testing, and of course, people from all around the world have got different climates, different humidity levels. So we have a lot of data proven now records and feedback from people all over the world, which is great, because when the version 2 comes out, if there's a certain area that now technologically has been advanced through, I don't know, a new discovery of raw materials, a new concentration level, all those type of things, the version 2 will come. Now, in terms of the shampoo itself, the contact stage, like I said, look, this is, so for example, my fist is the contaminant. You are picking up still quite abrasive things which are on the clear coat. And if you've been around enough cars in a sunny car park to know that 90, probably 8% of people are very illiterate in how to contact wash their car. Now, don't let anybody tell you otherwise, but realistically, the only thing and the most important thing that you should be looking at in a car shampoo, okay, is the quality of the raw materials used and the slickness lubricity level. That is it. If you're chasing a shampoo that requires, you know, a heavy, or your paint requires a heavy clean, at that stage of the wash, you've already, of course, done many things prior to it. I think you're looking at the wrong thing, or you're doing something wrong. This should be the final cherry on the top. You're not putting your wash pan in like this and putting all, I mean, I was 18 stone, you know, like this, and just hammering on the paint. And I've seen people, you know, like old people, I'm doing this on glass because I'll never do this on paint. And they'll do this because they're like, I'm cleaning my car. Can you see what I'm doing? They're doing this, and they're over and over, you know, on the same point. Once you've washed your car like this, you don't need to go back round. What's the point? The car's already, well, if you're using the correct procedures, it's already clean. So to scrub the living daylight out of your paint is extremely counterproductive. So obviously the slickness in this is very high, and you just feel that by just the very basic God-given sense to you, which is touch and feel. You know, you've got that silky smooth texture on the paint. Even a car like this that is being covered in dry salt for close to 1,000 miles. And the most important thing, guys, is the dilution ratios. The dilution ratios that we recommend. Again, you could read the back of the bottle and you can completely ignore what we tell you. You can put in 5 mil, 10 mil, 6 million mil. It is completely up to you, all right? But I will tell you this. Again, it's more of a common sense discussion more than, you know, a product discussion. When you look at other industries, whether it be in the hair care game or bubble bath game, you know, anything that kind of forms at that level. But let's talk about hair shampoo on this one. Just think about how much hair shampoo you use. Every single day you have to use it. Obviously, if you don't go in the shower and wash your hair every day, you're a problem and I don't want to speak to you. But just think about that, right? how much shampoo you use. And people say, oh, I use a 50p's worth, right? In the palm of your hand. Think about the surface area of your head and think about how often you do it. Obviously, you don't wash your car every day. I wish I could. I'd live in heaven. But just imagine that, a 50p's worth every day for a week, however many mil that is. And imagine your surface area of your head. Now, imagine the car. It's got salt, it's got fallout, it's got oil, soot, you know, depending on where you're driving, what car you have, of course. But you get the general gist of what I'm trying to say. Mainly salt and like general road contamination. So we can quite easily go on the back of the label and put 5 mil per every 20 litres of water. Of course we can. That's not a problem. And we'll join the clan. I've done testing on this shampoo and it works great at 5, 10, 15, 20, 50 mil. It works great at all dilution ratios. But if you want that slippery feel, right? And you want to protect your paintwork integrity. We've seen so much paint in our lives, personally. We've polished tons, we've got tens of thousands of polishing hours under our hand. We know what incorrect washing techniques can do, and it's extremely, extremely expensive. You know, it's multiple thousands of pounds or dollars, whichever, obviously, country you're from. And your car's only got a certain lifeline of polishing in it, especially compounding. So do you really want to be scratching your paint with, you know, a sandpaper action kind of technique when you could spend an extra 50p per wash or whatever it is every week, every 2 weeks? Come on, like, that's, as I said, use your common sense. And the dilution ratios that we give you is because of what we've done over, again, tens and tens of thousands of hours of testing, washing. I mean, how many hours have I got on YouTube, right? How much filming hours have we got of, and this is public as well. I'm not talking about the private stuff. This car gets washed 3 times a week, one of which is on YouTube. That's another 2 washes every week that we do privately, and we do all this kind of behind the scenes testing. And as I said, I've tried it every single dilution ratio, and this dilution ratio is what I recommend. Hell, if you want to half that dilution ratio, please go ahead. You know, there's no harm done. If you want to increase the dilution ratio, there's some guys out here said, I've washed my car for 2 weeks, I put 100, 150 mil, and I find it great. Fantastic. If you want to half that and then half it again, it's totally up to you. But that is our wash solution, slap bang in the middle of everything. You know, it gives you just that right result without adding or removing anything. And at this point, when I rinse it now and I want to do a drying head application, or I want to top it up with our ceramic spray sealant, or I want to wax it, or I want to polish it, I am not, of any of those things I've just mentioned, I'm not laying the next step over something that is either being stripped too heavily or where it's been added, you know, a thin film of nothingness that is now going to inhibit the performance of this, you know, the secondary and the tertiary kind of products afterwards, which are all, again, standalone products with their own benefits. So I hope this has been a bit of an insight. It's a little bit deeper than this kind of I wanted to go initially in the discussion of wash, but nonetheless, you know, I hope you guys find it interesting, because I find it interesting. And if I find it interesting, I think there's a percentage of people out there, the crazy ones, who will sit down with some food or a drink and listen to me talk about car shampoo. So if you're one of those guys, I love you. And again, we're back now from the 2024 break. It was fantastic. I'll probably touch on that on the next Wash and Chat. But we're back, the content is rolling, a lot of new plans. And again, thank you for the support, and stay tuned for even more amazing content. Thank you very much, guys.